Hey there.
Hi.
Okay, well, let's go over our surgery, what we're going to be doing.
Okay.
And why, and what we can do after that.
Okay.
All right. We've got inside our uterus something that looks kind of like one of these things.
Okay.
It's a little polyp. If you go and you put a baby in there, then that decreases the chances because it's sitting there right in the way.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is what's called hysteroscopy. We put a telescope in there and we take it out. Your surgery is set up for noon on Friday. It's important to have a completely empty stomach when we do that. So they like you not to eat or drink anything after midnight the night before.
Okay.
Now if you wake up in the middle of the night, you can have water, but water only.
Okay.
They want you there 1.5 hours before the surgery, so your surgery's at noon, so 10:30.
Okay.
They'll get you admitted, they'll get an IV going, anesthesia will talk to you, I'll come talk to you, and then we'll go back and do the surgery.
Okay.
It doesn't take very long, 45 minutes maybe.
Okay.
I'm going to take pictures inside your uterus of what I found and give whoever's with you a copy of it.
Okay.
You'll go home probably 3:30, somewhere near there. When you get home, you can eat or drink anything you want.
Okay.
You'll have light bleeding maybe. You'll have just a touch of cramping, but not much usually. We have you on a pack of birth control pills. I want you to finish that pack of pills.
Okay.
Okay. If you need to take Advil, leave Tylenol, anything's okay. And you do not need to be in bed over the weekend. You can be up, but don't go jogging, but you can do light activities. Just anything around the house. You can go out. You can just, nothing too strenuous.
Okay.
If you have any problems whatsoever, you call the office.
Okay.
So this just says what we're going to do and why. It just says that Dr. Douglas, because of uterine polyps, is going to do hysteroscopy. It then says I might find other things wrong in there. If I do, I'm going to fix them.
Okay.
This says I can't guarantee you'll never grow another polyp. We don't know why people get them, but if you've got one, and you might get another one. These are the things that have been reported in the medical literature to go wrong. They're really unlikely, like injuring the uterus or forming scar tissue in the uterus, bleeding, infection. It could decrease your fertility need for another surgery to correct an injury. Extremely unlikely, but they've been reported, so we're required to tell you.
Okay.
These two pertain to transfusions. Usually you lose more blood when they draw your blood here in the office today than you will Friday. This is not a bloody surgery.
Okay.
But if there is some life-threatening emergency, it's always best that you say, yeah, give me blood to save my life.
Right.
X-rays, we're not planning on doing that. Pathology, your tissue goes to a pathologist and they just tell us it's a benign polyp. We will take pictures inside your uterus. This one says you've had an opportunity to ask me questions about any of this, and that we went over the risks and the hazards, which are these, and if you have any questions about this, then you feel free to ask.
Okay.
So really the important parts of your surgery are, do not eat or drink that morning.
Right.
Show up at 10:30. Call if you have any problems whatsoever. Now, 1 week after your surgery, they're going to schedule you for a post-op visit next week.
Okay.
And we'll go over everything we found, everything we did, and say now is when we can do the embryo transfer.
Okay.
Questions?
I don't think so. Is the anesthesia used, is it similar to egg retrieval anesthesia, or is it going to be different?
Very similar.
Okay.
Very similar.
Okay.
All right. The nurse has a couple more things to go over with you, so if you'll follow me right out here.
Hello, everybody. So, number one, I can actually wear this hat without sweating because it's really nice outside. The door's open. You can hear the sound machine probably in the room, but anyway, we got home a little bit ago from Dallas. We actually stayed in Dallas last night because we had a pre-op appointment this morning for me for my surgery on Friday. I'll get into that, but so it was appointment at it was supposed to be 8:15 and they pushed it to 8:30, but we live, it sometimes can take 3 hours to get to our clinic. Sometimes 2.5, sometimes 3. So it's just obviously very hard at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to get to Dallas, and then you never know about traffic. I mean, it's just like, you just never know. So we decided to stay last night in Dallas. It was so much easier. I'm so thankful we did that. I would honestly pay money of almost any amount to just not have to get up that early and be able to stay. We slept so good. We got some rest. I mean, obviously, may not be obvious if you don't know, but we take Zion with us to these appointments. Manny doesn't come in, and so he's been going with us. And they're, I mean, if you've ever done IVF, they're generally quick appointments. A lot of people actually go before work. There was a lady in there today. She was just like doing a quick appointment before work. You know, that's typically how quick they are. Some are just blood work. Some are blood work and sonogram. Some are meeting with the doctor, which one time I just had a phone call with him, but I usually do go in. Well, anyway, so they're not long, but Manny and Zion usually go on a little walk or whatever, and then I come out in a few minutes. But there's a pre-op today to talk about my surgery. If you've ever met me or you've seen me on here, you know that I research things like crazy. And I've been reading about hysteroscopies for years because before we did our first cycle, like our first transfer cycle and all that, I thought I might need it because I'd seen it so often on YouTube and everything in the IVF community. But actually last time I was cleared to transfer with no hysteroscopy, which I know people that do IVF are like, oh my gosh, that's like a big thing, because I know not everybody is. Actually, for some clinics, a hysteroscopy is standard protocol. They do them no matter what. Even if you look fine, everything looks good, it's just their protocol. At my clinic, it isn't like that. They only do them if there's something visually that they see on ultrasound that looks like it could get in the way, which obviously worked out fine for us last time. Our transfer was very successful and everything was great. But this time around, I've had a baby. I've had a C-section. Obviously, hormones change. I breastfed for a year. You know what I mean? Like, things are just obviously very different hormonally and I'm sure physically than they were 2 years ago when I transferred, having never been pregnant before or anything like that. So I pretty much knew in my spirit this time around I was going to get a hysteroscopy. I'd been saying it, not in a negative way because it isn't a terrible thing, but I'd been saying it pretty much since my C-section. That was kind of what gave me the idea, like, yeah, probably for sure because of scar tissue, which I would say they probably will remove scar tissue as well. They don't know that yet, but I think they will. Anyway, so today he just kind of went over everything, what time I have to be there, all of the regular stuff. And I was just saying on Instagram, it's so important to find a doctor who truly cares about you, because I love that since he's doing this procedure, he's going to be the one performing it, that he personally sat down with me in his office and discussed it with me and made sure I understood it and I was comfortable with it and all those things. Didn't have any questions. I know a lot of people go through nurses and things like that, and you deal with a lot of nurses in IVF, and they're great and they do a wonderful job, at least at my clinic. But I feel like it's really important that a doctor will be willing to sit down with you. He has signs all over his office, all over the place, in the whole area that he's like a top-rated doctor. He's won awards. I mean, it's not like nobody goes to him. He's very popular in Texas, but he still takes the time to sit down and go through these things. I think he's so smart. I trust him. I told Manny on the way home he's worth the drive to me. You know, it doesn't even, from my knowledge, have to be a fertility doctor that does this particular procedure, but I feel more comfortable with the doctor that has done procedures, has done egg retrieval on me before, has done transfer on me before. I've had great success with him. He knows me, you know what I mean? And I feel comfortable with him, and I just feel really good about having him do it. He's gonna be the one doing the transfer. He'll know about anything that he needs to know about, or, you know, those types of things. I think it's better that way, for me anyway. So I'm really glad that he's doing it, and he took the time to explain everything to me. I knew most of it because I researched, but the things personal to me, like obviously time to be there and all that, was important to learn. And anyway, he said, like, you know, simple procedure. He said you probably lost more blood today when they did your blood work than you will in this procedure. It's not, his exact words were, this is not a bloody procedure. This is just a, you know, kind of standard. It's very similar, in my opinion, to egg retrieval. I know if you're in the medical field, like, they are different if you're in that field of, not just medical field, because honestly, you're not all trained in the medical field to do fertility stuff, and I'm aware of that. But if you're trained in that area, you know that there are different procedures, but there are a lot of similarities. My only question from today was, will the anesthesia be the same thing that they gave me at egg retrieval? Because if so, I'm going to feel very comfortable with that, because I didn't have any problems at egg retrieval with it. I honestly didn't feel like I'd had anesthesia. I kind of just woke up feeling like I took a good nap, and I didn't feel out of the loop. I just felt very with it pretty much right away. I knew why I was there, immediately. But anyway, he said it's very, very similar, you know, to what I would have had at egg retrieval. And from what I've read, it's pretty much, you know, very similar thing. He said the procedure itself will take around 45 minutes. You know, my egg retrieval was 12 minutes in total, and I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be more than that. But I think he's a very good doctor and he knows what he's doing. So I would say 45 minutes is probably like a larger end, but I'll have to let you know on Friday for how long it'll end up being. I'm nervous. Another thing about me, if you know me, I get very nervous about things like this, like next level nervous. But my main concern right now, honestly, is that for this appointment, we are leaving Zion. We're not going to take him with us. It doesn't work out that way as badly as I want it to. It's just not going to work out that way for this appointment. And it's not that I'm nervous about who I'm leaving him with, because he's going to be in great hands. That's not a concern at all. It's just I'm very attachment style parenting. I like him to be with me. I love being with him. He loves being with me. You know, he's a big mama's boy, and you know, I want to know what he's doing. I'm just like that. And so it's going to be hard because it is a drive to get there and to get back. The surgery isn't long, but I think you have to be there an hour and a half early. And then he didn't say this, but I think they generally keep you about an hour after. He said I could head home around 3 or 3:30, so that would kind of add up. Just because you're under anesthesia and all of that, they keep you for a little bit, and then they let you go home. Anyway, so it's, you know, going to be a kind of a little bit of time, and we've never done that before. We don't leave him places. He's never had a babysitter like that. I mean, it's just never, literally. So, you know, it's different, but I know everything's going to be fine. It's one day, and it's one step closer to giving him a brother or a sister, which I know, like, sometimes I only see in the moment. You know, like, this surgery stinks. Like, this day, this one day stinks. But really, it all is a bigger picture of, you know, what is to come. Like egg retrieval, I was so nervous about and just had a lot of fear. I'd never been under anesthesia at that point, so I was like really stressed about that part. But everything went so unbelievably smoothly. If you see my egg retrieval vlog, I might have had the easiest egg retrieval of anybody ever. It was just so almost funny how easy it was. And we got 2 beautiful embryos, and now we have a baby. And if I hadn't gone through that one day that maybe wasn't the most fun, I wouldn't be where I am. You know what I mean? So you kind of go through these steps where it's like, in the moment that wasn't fun and it wasn't exciting, but it led to something exciting. And I believe wholeheartedly that our transfer would have failed if I didn't have the surgery. I really believe that. Even if he'd told me you don't need a hysteroscopy, I just felt like I needed one. And I really think I would have gone into it thinking this isn't going to work, because I really believed, just from research, that I probably needed a hysteroscopy. I probably needed to be cleared out and to kind of start fresh, since I've gone through a C-section. I've gone through, you know, obviously the whole pregnancy. I just really felt like this is the right move. And then having the polyp, I think the polyp was just kind of an indicator of, hey, this does need to happen, you know. I never had one before. They checked me so many times, and I never had one before this. And I know after pregnancy, they do tend to come on more than before. But anyway, so I'm thankful for the polyp, that, you know, maybe it's, and maybe not. Maybe it's just the polyp, it's one thing, and that's all they're going to take out. But it may be that there's scar tissue. It may be that there's other things that they're not able to see. And it may be that I desperately, like, for sure needed this. And so I don't want to risk it, to be honest. I want to do it. I want to do everything. I said this last time. I want to do everything I can do to make sure this works, because there is no guarantee with IVF. It's not like you just go into an embryo transfer and they say, okay, you're pregnant, bye. It's a process, and it can fail. And I'm positive about it. I like to be positive and speak life and speak good things, but reality is it fails for people all the time. And even though IVF has the highest success rate, it still is not that high of a success rate, in all honesty. It still fails. And I mean, you know, it's just the way life works, right? That's just the way things are. It's just the way your body is. It's just sometimes things fail. And so anyway, I just felt like this time, like, this is one of those steps. Last time it wasn't a necessary step, and I think that was the right choice as well. But this time I believe it's a necessary step to make sure that this works. And I'm going to go into embryo transfer feeling good about it, and not feeling like, maybe we could have done one more thing. You know what I mean? Or if it were to, I'm not speaking this, but if something were to fail or something didn't work, at least you know you've tried everything you can do. You know what I mean? And that's something for me. I'm like, at least I know it wasn't because I didn't have a hysteroscopy, you know, because I didn't want to. Like, I know that I've done everything I can do for my babies, and that's what I want to know. And so it's important to me, and I know I won't regret it, you know. But anyway, I believe that the transfer is going to be successful. I really do. I really believe that. This hysteroscopy actually gave me peace about that. The C-section kind of had me concerned because if you do research, which, you know, Google is not God, so Google doesn't get the last say, thankfully, because there's some wild stuff on there. But there is a lower success rate generally for people that have had C-sections before. It's one reason I didn't want one. But it was what was necessary for that pregnancy with Zion, for him to be safe, for me to be safe. So I'm thankful for C-sections. But I know that there are lower success rates after that. I don't personally think that that's going to be an issue for me, because I believe that God sent me to the right doctor that knows what he's doing and is going to be able to get rid of anything. I think I'm going to be good as new coming out of this procedure, where it'll be just like last time. I'm going to be able to go in and just, it's going to be successful. If you're new here, we have male factor infertility. So we don't have female factor infertility. So really, on IVF terms, I had it easy last time around, right? Like, it wasn't easy. There's a lot of shots. I mean, even with female infertility, or even with male factor infertility, it's still the woman that has to do the stem shots, the progesterone shots. The woman's still the one getting pregnant. So you still got to go through a lot either way. But I didn't have these extra surgeries, you know, these hysteroscopies and different things. I didn't have fibroids removed. I didn't have, you know, things that a lot of women have to have done. I didn't have surgeries for endometriosis because I don't have that. You know what I mean? I just didn't have some of the extra things, and I'm thankful for that. So this time around, it's going to be just a little bit different with this surgery, but I know God has it under control, and I believe it's the right move. So I'm going to get through it, and we're going to be good, and it's just one day. They said take it easy for the weekend, but I'm leading worship Sunday, but it's actually going to work out. He's waking up. So yeah, he's awake and excited. He's waving. But it's, you know, on Sunday, actually, the kids are leading worship, so I'm going to be singing and everything, and that's 2 days after the surgery, and they say you can even go back to work the next day as long as it's not super strenuous, so I won't be jumping around like I usually do. But I'll be able to sing, and the kids will kind of take over for me on the jumping part. They'll cover me on that. So that's actually the perfect weekend to have it done. So God was already looking out for that as well, because, you know, I like a lot of energy in worship. But that's going to be covered. I'm not going to push myself to do anything like that. I want to make sure I recover well, of course. And then as far as our transfer, I know people get confused. This surgery is not going to give me a pregnancy at all. This surgery just get me ready for that. And then our transfer, he said we'll go in for our post-op appointment a week after the surgery, and they'll check me out. And we'll talk then about when we're able to transfer. So he told me originally that it could be the next cycle. If everything goes smoothly and isn't any worse than what they think, then he'll probably transfer next cycle. But if it's, you know, maybe something's, you know, they got more out, it was a lot more than they thought, maybe my body needs a little more time to heal. It could be a few months. So there's really no way of knowing. That's how IVF works. You don't really know much. You just kind of hang on for the ride and hope that it works out, and just pray a lot, because you just don't know things. You know, it's not like they say, all right, you're going to come out on this day, and this is how it's going to work. It's all dependent on cycles and this and that, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So you just never know. But we are going to transfer as soon as we can. You want to wear the hat? He wore this hat this morning. It actually fits him. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. You're nice. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. You take it off, Mama? You gonna put it on you? I think I can put it on you with just one hand. How about like that? Uh-oh! We only have this for our nap time now, don't we? Yeah. Look. Look. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round. Tell them, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. The horn on the bus says beep, 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 beep. How about what do the mommies say? Look at this. The mommies on the bus say shh, 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 shh. You're over it? Oh, you love the mommies. Tell them hi, they can see you. Hi. Mwah. Mwah. Okay. Cool. You are a vlogger. Bye. Good morning, everybody. It is hysteroscopy day, getting a uterine polyp removed. This is a very common IVF surgery, but I didn't have it last time because I didn't need it. My clinic doesn't do them as standard protocol. They just do them if there's something in there that they can see that they need to remove. So this time there is a polyp, so they're removing that today and whatever else they find. Zion is still asleep in bed. He's so sweet. And the hardest part about today for me is that he's going to be not with me. He's going to be at one of our best friends in the world, Krista. He's going to be at her house, and she's amazing, and you know, she's going to take great care of him. He's going to be well taken care of, but I'm very nervous about I'm very stressed, really, about leaving him. We're leaving him there at 6:30 right now. We're going to leave him there about 7 o'clock. And the surgery center is 2.5 to 3 hours away in Dallas area. And then we have the surgery at noon, so I got to be there at 10:30 to check in. I have the surgery at noon. They said it'd be maybe 45 minutes. And then go ahead and, you know, go to recovery or whatever they do, and then I can come home. The doctor said I'd come home about 3 or 3:30. The problem with that is it's still a 2.5 or 3 hour drive. So we've never left Zion before. He, you know, sleeps in the bed with me. We eat every meal together. We do everything together. We play together all day. He comes to work with me. He, you know, everything that I do, that Manny does, we're together for. And so he's never had a babysitter, you know, elsewhere. And so I'm very stressed about that, like very stressed. Like I've shed many tears. It's not because of who he's staying with. He's going to be in great hands, but it's just the way I am. And so anyway, we have some toys. I'll show you guys little toys in the lunchbox. So we brought some toys, obviously, and packed his lunches, or not his lunches, he's only going to need one lunch. It's only going to be one day. I'm going to come home. But breakfast, lunch, and we did pack dinner, even though I think, and my absolute goal is that I'm going to be here to give him dinner. But it's ready, just so you know. I don't have to cook anything when I get back. So all of that's in the fridge. I got snacks for him. We've got this bubble machine. Manny went and bought him bubbles yesterday because this is his favorite thing right now. So we got him a little bubble machine, that way he could play it at Krista's house, and he would have something like that to do because he loves bubbles. He has bananas, croissants. I mean, we got bananas loaded up in that bag. He is set with pretty much any kind of food that he could ever want. Extra clothes in his backpack. And I'm crazy, and I made a list for Krista. It's still dark outside, so this lighting over here is weird, but I made a list for Krista right here that's just like all the things that he does and likes, and the way he communicates, his sign language and things like that. He can say words as well, but he does do like signs for milk and signs for water and stuff. And I'm going to make sure she knows what he's saying when he does that. So anyway, I mean, she can obviously talk to us. I'm only going to be under anesthesia for like that 45 minutes or whatever, so it's not going to be even a fraction of the time. So she can text me, and then even when I'm under anesthesia, she can text Manny. So she'll have somebody to ask questions to. But again, I'm not worried about that part of it. I'm just worried about like having to leave him. I'm going to miss him. It's going to be really hard for me. He's never been away like that. I don't know, you know, how he's going to do or anything. I know he's going to be fine, but I'm stressed. So it's a stressful day, kind of all around, because it's not like you're going to do a fun thing. I would never want to leave him to do a fun thing anyway, clearly, because I never have. If I'm going to do a fun thing, I'd take him with me, because fun things are not fun unless he's with me. He makes things fun for me. But it's not even like I have anything like going on. It's like I leave him and I'm stressed about that, and then I'm going to do something also that I'm stressed about doing. So it's kind of both things there. But it's gonna be okay. God has us, and we're gonna get it through this day. I just want to get through it as fast as possible and get it done. So that's what we're doing. It is dark out here, isn't it? Let's see. Okay, Zai Zai. Today you're gonna go to Aunt Krista's house, and you're gonna see Bella and Emma and Livy and their dog Sammy. And I think they even have a cat outside, and you like cats. And maybe Uncle P if he's there. I don't know if he's gonna be at work or if he's gonna come home. But you're gonna go there, and you're gonna play with toys. You're gonna play with Bubbles. I brought Bubbles for you. And Mommy and Daddy are gonna be gone for a little while. Okay? And we'll miss you so much. Okay? But you're gonna have fun. And you're gonna take your nap there. Okay? So when Aunt Krista says it's time to go night-night, you're gonna lay down with her, and maybe on her, or she's gonna hold you or something, and then you're gonna go night-night. Okay? Or maybe Bella, or I don't know who it'll be, but one of your friends, you're gonna lay down and go night-night with them. Yeah. And then after just a little while after you go night-night, if you go night-night real good, it won't be too long, and Mommy and Daddy will be home, okay? Yeah. I love you, baby. I'm gonna miss you. Yeah. I love you so much. I love you. My whole world. This is also going to be my first time sitting in the front seat since he was born, pretty much. Except I think I did one time when we were doing something different. But anyway, we left him. I'm crying because he cried a little bit. He was wanting to cling on to me, and they did a good job distracting. They're waving. It's really hard because we're always the ones that put him to sleep for his nap and everything. And I know it seems dramatic because a lot of people do this every day, but we never have. So it's just hard for me. And I'm already stressed out about the whole procedure in and of itself, even though I know it's going to be fine. It's just a lot mentally. IVF is a lot mentally. More than physically. Like physically, I'm going to have a harder time today mentally than I do physically, and I already know that. That's how it was with egg retrieval and all of that. It's a mind game more than it is, like, the physical recovery isn't as bad, or at least it hasn't been for me. I mean, there's some recovery involved, but it's not terrible. But I know we're gonna be okay. And it's just one day, you know, I'm going to be home this evening, it's going to be one day, and hopefully never have to have this surgery again, you know. This is a one-time thing, and I'm not excited, but it's going to be okay. So, I'm just going to get this done as quickly as I can, and get back with my baby as fast as I can, and that's the good thing about co-sleeping, is that he'll be in the bed with me all night, and I'll get to cuddle him, as soon as I get home, and then for the rest of the night. So I'm really excited about that, and that's what's getting me through this day. And I appreciate Krista and her family so much, because they've given their day to hang out with him and watch him, and they never act like it's they haven't acted like it's a burden or anything. They just really enjoy him, and that's what I want, somebody to stay with him that enjoys him and loves him, and because he's so fun and he's so sweet. So anyway, yeah, let's go. Alright, we just pulled up to the hospital. It's basically, I thought it was gonna be like further away from the fertility clinic, and I kept saying, oh my gosh, it's not even at the clinic. Like, I feel more comfortable at the clinic. I think it's probably gonna look the same. Honestly, I think it's pretty much the same thing. It's just like down, it's almost like one big thing, and this is just not the fertility clinic section, but my RE, reproductive endocrinologist, he's doing the surgery and everything. I think it's, I wouldn't have noticed a difference had I not seen the outside, I would say. I think it's going to be very similar. It's 10:09, and we actually are a little bit early, which is good. It's hard to be early when you have such a drive, but the drive wasn't too bad today, so I'm just really praying on the way home that's exactly how it is. I think it should be, because I think we're going to be able to get out of here, like, before rush hour and all of that, so it'll be, like, a good time to drive, like, 3:30. I think we'll be able to make it home quick. Zion is doing good. He's had his breakfast. They said he ate almost all of it, and I'm getting updates all the time, pictures, all of that, so I'm thankful for that. That's one great thing about, you know, being really close to the person that's babysitting. I mean, I think anybody would send pictures, but we talk all the time anyway, so I'm just glad that she's telling me what he's doing and all of that kind of stuff, and she said he's doing well. So anyway, this will be the longest that I've ever been away from him. It's not even going to be, I mean, I'll be there like well before bedtime and all of that, so it's not too bad, but it's hard for me. And yeah, I know he's gonna be missing us, but he's gonna do good. He's gonna be okay. So anyway, we're gonna go in a few minutes and get started, and hopefully, I mean, I would love if I went in here and they were like, let's just go ahead and do it, but I know that's not how things work, and I know the doctor's probably not even here and probably not ready. He's probably gonna come specifically for that time. So anyway, I'm nervous. I always get nervous. If you watch back on egg retrieval vlogs, the egg retrieval vlog, I was absolutely petrified, like literally terrified, because I'd never been under anesthesia or anything. It's IV sedation that they use. He said they're going to use something very similar to that today. And from what I've read, some people are awake for this procedure, and from what I've read, people that have been awake have said you absolutely do not want to do it awake. It isn't like a major procedure, like a major surgery or anything, but they scrape your uterus, and they said, like, if you're awake, it's really very uncomfortable. I've not seen anybody say that didn't hurt really bad when they were awake, and actually a couple people said that they refuse to do it awake again, that they are going to be going somewhere that will put them under for it. So I know it's the right thing. I know it's, my doctor does, like, the easiest way, and I know that he's going to, like, you know, he wants to do the easiest on the patient, and I know that that's what he's doing. He wants me to stay comfortable, and I think it's going to be good, and I'm sure I'll be fine. It's going to be quick. It'll probably be quicker than they even said, is what I think. So we will go in a minute and get started. All right. Get this done.
Good job, Laura. Kisses. One more. Good job.
Pretty much as expected. Let me kind of show you some pictures here. When we're looking in, it's supposed to be a room with nothing in it.
Right.
All right. So they're a little bit blurry, but you can see this kind of ragged edge, all this stuff right in here.
Yeah.
Not really supposed to be there. And then this, and then that thing. And here it's kind of a close-up, but it's really blurry.
Okay.
So we took all this out, and then when we're all done, we just have a clear window, just an open space. So just lots of bits in a couple different places.
Right.
This is kind of a new one. This is a little teeny one up in the corner. This is the big one that we saw. So we had some other ones getting started, so got rid of everything, and now it's just as clean as a whistle.
Okay, great.
So what's going to happen now? She's in recovery room. They don't let her have visitors in the recovery room.
Okay.
In about 1 hour, she goes back to a room like where you started. Then she can have visitors, so you'll be able to be with her. At that point, she needs to drink some liquids, eat some crackers, pass some urine, be comfortable, not throwing up or anything, and then say, okay, you can go home now.
Okay.
At home, she does not need to be in bed, but nothing strenuous. No,
Right.
don't go out exercising. But she can move around the house. She can eat anything she wants. It makes no difference. If she has some light bleeding, some cramping, and wants to take Tylenol, Advil, leave, anything you have is okay to take.
Okay.
She probably will have some light bleeding. It shouldn't be heavy.
Right.
All right. But everything went perfect. I can't imagine she's going to have any problems. But if she does, somebody's on call 24 hours a day.
Okay, great.
Questions?
No.
All right.
Everything's good.
Then, wherever they found you, they'll find you again in about an hour.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to be with her until she's ready to go.
All right. Sounds
All right.
good. Thank you
Good
very
deal.
much.
You're very welcome.
We did it. It's over. It was general anesthesia. This time I was intubated, which I wasn't for egg retrieval, so this was my first time being intubated. I almost had a full-blown panic attack. but we did it. Alright, surgery is over and we're actually 3 minutes from our baby, which is the most exciting part of the whole day. This is the moment I've waited for. Surgery went good. I'll show you guys some pictures. We got the pictures, right? Like, we can take them. Yeah. But ended up, I think you probably maybe heard this, so we can insert a clip, but ended up having 2 polyps instead of 1. One of them, I think he said was like starting to form, and then one was a larger one. Oh really? I put on my post there was one. But anyway, then some tissue. He didn't say scar tissue. I will ask him at my post-op appointment if that's what that is. He said he's gonna go over everything with me. But I think just from, I've seen a lot of those types of pictures because of going through IVF and a lot of research. So I think it's scar tissue, which would make perfect sense having a previous pregnancy and a C-section. So that doesn't surprise me at all. I very much expected that. But everything's cleaned out, so I'm glad we did it because now we know that like everything's cleaned out. Like, you know, it makes me a lot more hopeful for a successful transfer. So we have a post-op appointment next week. Well, we don't have it yet, I guess. I have to call or something. And they will he'll go over then like what they found, and also tell me like when we can transfer, basically. Like, I mean, we decide when we transfer. They can't say like you have to transfer next month, but they can tell us the earliest that we can, and then we just decide if that's what we want to do. But we do want to do it the earliest that we can. So we will see. I cannot see because of the sun. I was under general anesthesia, so I was intubated, which really scared me. I was crying before I went in there. It's just a whole new level when you have a little human being that relies on you and loves you so much, and it's just like, I want to make sure I can get home to him. And that's dramatic because this type of surgery, like, this is a routine procedure. I knew I was gonna make it home to him, but it just adds stress, you know. And there he is. He's gonna be so happy. Is that my baby?
It is.
That's my baby. Oh my goodness. You want to come see me?
I can't believe you can hold him right now.
precious.
Like, I figured.
Yeah, that couldn't.
She's like, so lamb.
I feel okay. I feel a lot better than I did even after the other surgery I had. I feel better this time. So.
Good. I figured even if they did say you can't hold him, you were like,
I mean, it's like, what are you supposed to do? It's like after C-section, like, don't do all these things. Like, well, you have a newborn, so.
bye-bye.
Oh, I love you. Good morning, everybody. You can hear Miss Rachel in the background. You can hear Miss Rachel in the background. We are watching some TV this morning, relaxing a little bit. It's Monday morning. I am feeling really good. Oh, he's so sweet. Oh, I love you. Oh, yes, I love you. Bye. So, oh, okay, sit down, please. Sit down on the couch, okay? Sit down, thank you. So anyway, I'm feeling good. I have to go to staff meeting in a little while. I'm feeling really good. Didn't really as much. Buddy. Oh, okay. Be careful. I think it was a much easier recovery than even egg retrieval, which if you were around for those, like the docu-series we did about IVF, where I was recovering from egg retrieval, it was only like a, you know, one afternoon and evening, and the next day a little bit. Like, that's about as long as it took me to recover. But it was a lot more pain. After egg retrieval, I wasn't in like severe pain or anything, but I had to have a heating pad. I remember like just going, even like if I had to pee, I was really uncomfortable. It was just like everything was really, really, really uncomfortable right after. Not severe pain or anything. I think I said I took one Tylenol after egg retrieval because they basically said I should. And then after that I was like, yeah, it's not really anything that I would need pain medicine for. I can just handle it with a heating pad, which I did. But I remember sleeping that night was uncomfortable, and then after that I was completely just fine. Riding in the car was a little uncomfortable, you know, that kind of thing, but I was fine very quickly. But after hysteroscopy, the car wasn't uncomfortable. I didn't really have much pain. I had very like slight cramping, but not anything severe. So mine was really easy. I know a lot of people have told me that egg retrieval and hysteroscopy are very similar, but for me that wasn't the case. And yeah, I'm feeling good. I have a post-op appointment. They just called me to set that appointment up. So Friday I'm going to go for a post-op appointment, and that's actually when we're going to discuss when we can transfer. So I'm assuming that he's going to say we could, since it went pretty well and nothing was too wild, I assume he's going to say we could probably transfer like ASAP, which that doesn't mean you can just go in whenever you want to and do a transfer. There's a whole process to it that you have to do first. And so it could still be a couple of months away, even if we did it ASAP. Just to clarify that, because I know a lot of people think like, oh, you're going to be like pregnant next week. That's not how that works. You have to be on certain medications for a while first with IVF and stuff. So what do you need? So it takes a little bit. But anyway, I want to give you guys a little update on how that went. And what do you need, Bubby? Okay, I wanted to show you guys really quickly before I end this what the pictures look like. So they give these pictures. They gave them to Manny when I was when I first got done with surgery. So basically there, well, I don't even know if I ever really told you guys what I had. So there was some polyps and some scar tissue. I believe that was maybe the scar tissue. I assume it's scar tissue. He didn't use that term, but he said some tissue. I will talk about it more at the post-op appointment, but I would assume scar tissue because of my C-section and previous pregnancies. I don't know what else it would be. And then the polyps obviously are in some of these. This one down here is the clear one. So you can clearly tell a difference between these three and this one. So that one is the clear uterus where everything has been removed. And so I think that's pretty cool, and it just kind of shows me that I definitely needed this procedure, and I feel really good about the fact that we got it, because the reason you get this procedure in IVF, you can get pregnant with polyps, you can get pregnant with scar tissue. People do it all the time. But it actually just lowers your chances, and with IVF, it's not like your chances are astronomical. So it lowers your chances because if the baby tries to implant where the scar tissue is or where a polyp is, it will fail. So you have to basically just hope that the baby would implant in a spot that doesn't have scar tissue or a polyp. Whereas if your uterus is totally cleaned out, there's so much space that it just obviously accelerates your chances that just about anywhere the baby decides to implant it could potentially work. So even though you can get pregnant naturally with polyps and stuff, I know the chances are lower, just like they are with IVF. So anyway, what's wrong? So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this vlog. Thank you for watching. Remember, you are incredible. Jesus loves you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. We need to wipe your face off. Bye.